wondered whether those fancy LED activity tables are really worth the investment compared to good old-fashioned building blocks? Today, we're thoroughly examining this fascinating topic with a specialist in early childhood development.
Thanks for having me. You know, it's funny you asked that because I was just working with a preschool that was wrestling with this exact question. And what we found was quite revealing. It's not really about choosing one over the other.
That's intriguing. What made you reach that conclusion?
Well, the research shows something really interesting. Children who engaged in block play between ages 3 and 5 actually perform significantly better in elementary math classes. LED tables excel in completely different areas, like sensory integration and visual discrimination.
So they're basically serving different developmental needs?
Exactly. Think of it like having both a hammer and a screwdriver. They're different tools for different jobs, but you really need both in your toolbox.
That makes a ton of sense. Can you break down the specific skills each one develops?
Sure. LED tables are fantastic for improving visual discrimination, pattern recognition, and pre-literacy skills. The backlit surface makes it easier for kids to detect subtle differences in colors and shapes. Plus, they're incredibly engaging for collaborative play.
Hmm. And what about building blocks?
Building blocks are absolute powerhouses for spatial reasoning and fine motor control. You know, when kids are stacking and manipulating blocks, they're developing vital skills for STEM learning. Things like understanding balance, weight distribution, and structural stability.
That's fascinating. And what age groups benefit most from each?
Here's where it gets really interesting. Building blocks have this amazing wide range of impact from about 18 months all the way up to 7 years. But LED tables, they really shine with the 3 to 5-year-old crowd, especially for sensory processing development.
You know what? That's a great point. We'll come back to that in just a moment. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Are you looking to create engaging learning spaces that spark curiosity and imagination? Little People's Cove specializes in commercial grade furniture and toys engineered for high traffic educational environments. Our products meet or exceed all safety standards while supporting motor skills, STEM discovery, and creative play. Visit us at littlepeoplescove.com to view our curated catalog and see how we're helping create spaces built just for kids.
And we're back! So how can educators effectively combine both tools?
Oh, this is where the magic happens. One of my favorite strategies is using translucent blocks on LED surfaces. You're going to love this. It creates this incredible hybrid experience where kids can study color mixing while building structures that actually glow from within.
Wow, that's pretty creative. Any other tips for combining them?
Definitely. You can create rotation schedules so all children get exposure to both types of play. And here's something cool. We found that some kids who might be hesitant with traditional blocks get really excited when they're introduced to them on an LED surface first.
Have you seen any specific examples of this working well in classrooms?
Oh yeah, just last month, I worked with a preschool that created what they called illuminated engineering stations. They had kids building bridges with blocks on LED tables, and it was amazing to see how the lighting helped them understand concepts like transparency and shadow in construction.
So it sounds like we shouldn't really be thinking about this as an either-or situation.
Correct, it's definitely about finding the right balance. You know, blocks are like the foundation. They've got decades of research backing their benefits. And LED tables, they're like this amazing new layer that adds extra sensory and visual elements to learning.
Makes sense. What about children with different learning styles or special needs?
That's a really important point. LED tables have shown some remarkable benefits for children with sensory processing needs or autism. The gentle, consistent light can be very soothing. Meanwhile, blocks provide that necessary tactile feedback that some kids really need for learning.
To all our listeners who work with young children, what would be your top recommendation?
I'd say start with a good set of quality blocks. They're your foundation. Then, if possible, add an LED table to create those rich sensory experiences. And remember, the real power comes from using them together creatively.
This has been incredibly informative. Where can our listeners learn more about creating these balanced learning environments?
Well, Little People's Cove at littlepeoplescove.com is actually a great resource. They've got some excellent information about integrating different types of play equipment, and they really understand how these tools work together in educational settings.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thanks for having me. And remember, in early childhood education, the goal is to find smart ways to integrate both traditional and modern tools.